Welcome and good morning. I am Brian Falkowski and I am the president of the Laketran Board of Trustees. Along with my fellow trustees and Laketran staff, I'd like to thank you for joining us here today. And I want to welcome you to our beautifully renovated Wickliffe Park-n-Ride. We are here today to celebrate a milestone day for public transit in Lake County and our state. Today defines the start of a future of zero-emission, clean fuel public transportation in Ohio. We are proud to be deploying Ohio's first battery-operated electric bus fleet and excited to see transit systems in Akron and Columbus preparing for similar releases. Beginning today, we are promoting a more sustainable future by reducing energy consumption and CO2 emissions to improve our community's air quality. By embracing this technology, we will bring long-term economic and environmental benefits to both Lake County and the state. In 2017, I was first introduced to electric bus technology and could immediately tell this was the future of transportation. With a vision from our board, financial support from federal and state partners, and hard work from the Laketran staff, I am proud to be launching the most efficient and sustainable vehicle technology here in Wickliffe, Ohio. I would now like to invite U.S. Air Force veteran and past commander of American Legion Post 7, David Kreitz, to present our flag. With him today is Bill Christoph, an Army veteran. If you could please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in thanking our veterans from Wickliffe's Brewer Tarasco American Legion Post 7 for joining us here today for their service to our country. Next, I would like to recognize the dignitaries that are with us today, our elected officials and community leaders who were able to join us this morning, whose support has allowed Laketran to make great strides to provide exemplary public transportation service for Lake County. I would request that you please hold your applause till the end. My fellow Laketran trustees, Donna McNamee and Sarah Spence. With us today from UAW Local 1834, Union Secretary Sharon Braden, Chief Steward Stephanie Lopp, Stewards Tabitha Gilliam and Cody Sersniak. Former Laketran trustee Gene Sensi, who is with the United Way of Lake County and the Madison School Board. We also have many local elected officials that have supported Laketran. United States Senator Sherrod Brown, Congressman David Joyce, State Senator Jerry Sereno, State Senate Minority Leader Senator Kenny Yuko, State Representative Jamie Callender, State Representative Dan Troy, former State Representative John Rogers, Commissioner John Hamercheck, Lake County Auditor Christopher Galloway, County Treasurer Michael Zern, Willowick Mayor Richard Regovich, Lakeline Mayor Deborah Neal. Thank you all for being here. Also with us here today are some of our great transit friends. Former Laketran General Manager Frank Polifka, ODOT Transit Director Chuck Dyer, and Grace Galachi, Executive Director and CEO of NOACA. And lastly, I would like to thank our event sponsors, many who have played an instrumental role in getting us here today. They are Project Engineers CT Consultants located here in Mentor, Willoughby's Tech Inc., who also helped on the design and engineering of the Transit Center, our general contractors, JTO, who did the reconstruction of our Park-n-Ride lot, and Engelke Construction, who built our new transit center. ABB, who provided our en-route charging infrastructure, Q-Strength, the nation's leader in onboard wheelchair securement, and VL Chapman, who have been our lead electricians for the facility construction and buses. Please thank me in congratulating and thanking our sponsors. I would now like to invite Chief Jim Powers to join me in welcoming you to Wickliffe.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. City of Wickliffe certainly thanks you for being here, and all of Lake County. In Lake County, it's so important we work together in everything we do. And now, with all this federal, state, county, and local participation, City of Wickliffe is very proud to have a facility like this. And we're very appreciative of all the hard work and all the people that made this happen. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, I would like to invite our own Laketran CEO, Ben Capel, to share more about the new transit center and our electric bus conversion.
Well, thank you, Brian, and thank you everyone for coming. This has really turned out to be a very nice day, which is great because none of us wanted to be rained on. We're standing here today at a place that has a lot of transit history in Lake County. Transit has operated out of this site for over 50 years, which a lot of people might not know. Where those A1 limo buses are parked is an old RTA turnaround from a long time ago. So this site has a lot of transit history and a lot of great partnerships with the City of Wickliffe. Reconstruction of this facility was long overdue. We'd operated this facility for quite a long time, and it was in need of some repairs. And we were happy to be able to do those repairs and really create a state-of-the-art facility that you see today. One of the things that I'm the most proud of is always something that no one likes to talk about, which is the bathroom. If you're a bus driver, you don't have the chance to go to the bathroom very often. So having an indoor heated bathroom is a big deal to a bus driver. They used to use a porta potty, and Northeast Ohio is not known for being warm in the winter, so if you can imagine putting your rear end on one of those cold seats in the middle of winter, that's not great. So it's very nice for them to have an indoor bathroom. We're very excited about that. In addition to that, our customers can wait inside when they wait for the bus. The facility is fully ADA compliant, and as you can see, we have several electric bus and passenger car charging stations located here. I was told an interesting story recently about this site and about a councilman from Wickliffe who lobbied for it to be created. His name was John Platts, and so he is one of the other people, in addition to Frank Bolifka, that helped create Laketran a long time ago. And when he lobbied for this facility, after it was created, I'm told stories he rode Laketran, it wasn't Laketran at the time, but rode the bus back and forth, and that helped him become elected county commissioner, which helped ultimately form Laketran. So one of the things people ask a lot is, why electric buses? So electric buses are really an amazing technology for a lot of reasons, and you all have to listen to me now because I'm the one talking. So you get to hear about how electric buses are fantastic for the environment. They have no noise pollution. You can all hear in the freeway back here what noise pollution actually sounds like. But the other thing is they're cheap to operate. So everything we do at Laketran is through the lens of what's cheapest for the taxpayers. And electric buses are the cheapest thing to operate for the taxpayers. And we're very proud of that, very happy that we're able to do that. Each bus can save about $125,000 in maintenance over the life of it, which is significant when you got 10 buses. That's $1 million. They also have some new state-of-the-art things on them. If you're a person in a mobility device, you can get on the bus and board and kind of be secured without the driver intervening. So you have full and complete freedom, which is something that a lot of buses don't have, which we're very proud of. And one of the other things that's interesting about Laketran that isn't readily apparent is the chargers you see to my right, your left, are pretty unique. Most people think about an electric bus, they think about they have to charge it in the garage overnight. That's not how ours work. Ours don't charge in the garage overnight. They charge at those sites all day, every day. And that allows the buses to kind of run indefinitely. What? Something happened. So that has allowed us to have the buses run all day long and not have to worry about range, which is usually a big issue for electric buses. I would also like to just take a moment to thank our construction partners, which was Mark Horton from CT Consultants, Tim Poole from Tech Inc., Leon from JTO, Mark from Angle Key Construction, and Lad Chapman from VL Chapman. Without them, this project couldn't have gotten done. And I'd also like to take a moment to thank our UAW partners, which are here today, for enduring that wonderful bathroom I mentioned for 30 years. So if there's anything you learned today, it's you learned that there's a bathroom here. And with that, that's a lot of information about this facility. I'd like to ask Brian to come back up and keep things moving.
Thank you, Ben. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to introduce our United States Senator, Sherrod Brown. He has been a champion for this project in public transit. Senator Brown serves as chairman of the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. He also serves on the Finance Committee, the Agricultural Committee, and is the longest-serving Ohioan on the Veterans Affairs Committee. Senator Brown fought to double the investment in FTA's Low-No Emissions Program grant under the FAST Act, and that led to Laketran securing several competitive funding grants totaling $8.5 million to fund our electric fleet conversion and bring modern electric bus technology to Northeast Ohio. Earlier this year, the Senator unveiled his Clean Transit for America plan to provide $73 billion for zero-emission bus deployment to transition 70,000 transit buses across America with clean fuel that'll benefit public health and the environment. Please join me in welcoming Senator Sherrod Brown.
Brian, thank you, and Ben, thank you for the work you're doing. Chief Powers, thank you for filling in for the mayor today, but so much more than that, and thank you for your work on fire grants, working with our office. I appreciate that. Congressman Joyce, good to see you. I also want to call out Sharon Brain with the UAW. I love that I had to walk around, that's why I left for a moment, because I was told that the UAW label is right under where the bus driver sits on the left side of the bus. That the importance of union labor, building these buses, and the importance of union labor, the mechanics, the drivers, the staff, it can't be understated. So thank you to the men and women of the UAW that keep these buses running. So appreciate what you're doing. Now, I really look forward to this event. I look forward to it. Unfortunately, because somebody's not here that I was hoping would be here, and that's Donna McNamee. And because I have good staff, my technology skills aren't quite what I'd like them to be. Because I have really good staff, I have a picture here that you really can't see when I hold it up, of Donna McNamee at the FDR Memorial in Washington, D.C. in either 1998 or 1999, a very young-looking Donna McNamee with a very young-looking Bill Clinton as he's assigned the disability bill that Donna had lobbied for years. Standing behind them is a not very young-looking Ted Kennedy. He was already, however old at that. But to look at Bill Clinton and to look at Donna McNamee as he signed it with her looking over his shoulder was really cool to do. So thank you, Donna. If she shows up, I will recognize her. I think she's coming, but I'm not sure I understand that she's been on the board longer than anybody in this community on the Laketran board. Special call out to my friend Frank Polifka too. That Frank has been at this for essentially 40 plus years and is a big part of the reason that Laketran has 150 buses and is doing so well serving people in this community. So thanks to all of them. As both Brian and Ben said, we've been working together on making sure that this is the first ever majority electric bus fleet in the state. Understand, Lake County has done what no other community in this state has done, and that is has a majority electric bus fleet. One of the things we did, as Brian and Ben talked about, I'm chair of the Senate, it's called the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee. It's historically just called the Banking Committee. It's been the Wall Street Committee. It's very different now. It's the Housing Committee and it's the Public Transit Committee. under the bipartisan bill, and I worked with Senator Portman on this to get this included. There are tens of billions of dollars invested in public transit nationally, the biggest investment ever in public transit. So with all the work that Brian and Ben and others in the community did with Laketran on this round, we want to continue doing what we need to do to make sure that this is accessible to everybody in this community that has the needs for public transit. Now, we've heard plenty of politicians, we in this country have had, we're the envy of the world when it came to infrastructure. Best highways, bridges, public transit, water, sewer, electric grid, all of that. We're not now, because we've had presidents of both parties, Clinton and Bush and Obama and Trump, continue to talk about public transit and then do nothing about it. It took a new president with a new Senate with a real commitment to infrastructure. And because President Biden and the House and the Senate began to work on this, we now see bipartisan interest. There's always been bipartisan interest in the public for infrastructure. Now we're actually seeing it in Congress. I applaud David Joyce for what he's doing, as I applaud Rob Portman for what he's doing. And we are going to see, in transit, we're going to see $1.3 billion for Ohio over the next 5 years, and that's going to make a huge difference. Transit's really about the dignity of work. It's about people being able to get to work. I hear far too many stories where there are holes in the public transit system. I know of a woman told me she had to take a cab on Sunday to get to work, because not in Lake County, but the bus system didn't run to her neighborhood on Sunday. She was making $10 or $11 an hour. She didn't show up Sunday, she lost her job, but she made no money Sunday because she had to take a cab. I mean, if we believe in the dignity of work, if you fight for the people in this country, if you believe in fighting for the people who make this work, then that's all about public transit. Lake County understands that connection, the need for pollution-free transportation better than just about anywhere, as witnessed by the fact that you have the first majority all-electric buses. So thank you to people like Dan Troy and Ken Yuko. Thank you to all of you that have been part of this. This is a good day for Lake County. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Brown. We appreciate your continued support, and also Congressman Joyce, thank you very much for your continued support as well. At this time, I would like to now invite Chuck Dyer, the Transit Administrator for the Ohio Department of Transportation, to share more about the state's contribution.
Thank you very much. And Senator Brown, if you can get that money for Ohio, we're ready to spend it here in the state. And Ben, after driving from Central Ohio, I first visited the facilities as well. I'd have to say heated facilities are fantastic. So in 1993, when I was 13 years old, I was in Chicago's Grant Park as Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls celebrated the three-peat win of the NBA National Championship. Now in October of 2021, almost 20 years later, I'm in Lake County and celebrate Laketran's two-peat win of having back-to-back successes and advancing electrical vehicles. So I don't think Ben would argue that while Michael Jordan may be more athletic, Laketran parallels Jordan's great leadership. First having Ohio's largest battery-operated electric bus fleet, now you're celebrating the second passenger terminal and electric charging station. What a great vision for Lake County. ODOT and I extend our congratulations to Ben, the Laketran employees, and the Laketran board. It takes a supportive front office, a great coach, and great players all working together to have a winning team. As you know, transportation is in the midst of a transformation. Innovation, infrastructure, and mobility as a service are coming together in new ways to get people where they want and need to go. What we celebrate today is a perfect example. Electric vehicles are the future, and Governor Mike DeWine and ODOT are committed to helping prepare for it. We are partnering with communities across Ohio to advance connected, automated, electric, and shared mobilities in new ways, just as we have done here today. I want to take a moment to also recognize public transit's frontline workers. They have worked so hard to provide essential services through the COVID-19 pandemic, and so we thank you for your work. What the pandemic has exposed is how much essential workers rely on public transit. And when essential workers can't get to work, everyone suffers. This came as no surprise to the ODOT Office of Transit, or really anybody in the transit industry. We know how critical mobility is to ensure social equity, public health, and access to jobs. ODOT is working with our state agency partners that fund transportation for older adults, people with disabilities, those with lower incomes, and others with transportation needs on a new vision called Mobility Ohio. Late next year, we expect to pilot a new model that will provide a one-stop hub where clients and customers can conveniently schedule trips by phone or online. Excuse me. The goal is to improve safety, availability, and quality of transportation. But we'll have a lot more to say about that next year as we continue to work through some more details. So Laketran, ODOT appreciates your leadership and your great partnership. You're leading the charge, pun intended. We are proud to be a player in your great team. Congratulations to Laketran.
Thank you very much, Chuck. And next I'd like to introduce Grace Galachi with NOACA. Grace?
Good morning. As Executive Director and CEO of the Metropolitan Planning Organization for Greater Cleveland, I'm honored to be here today representing NOACA. I'd like to congratulate Laketran on yet another major accomplishment for Lake County. The renovation of the Wickliffe Park-n-Ride truly transforms this multimodal transit center and will give Laketran riders a state-of-the-art experience, along with extraordinary addition of 10 zero-emission electric buses. As a leader in public transit, Laketran represents dedication and innovation. Laketran has shown us what is possible when you have a bold vision and the tenacity to achieve it. We are proud of your efforts to bring this needed technology to the forefront and to expand public transit. This is an exciting day for all of us here in the transportation world. Together, we share the belief that to be a competitive, thriving region, we need to keep up with the evolution of technology, particularly technology related to transportation. And when that technology serves an environmental purpose as well, you really can't go wrong. In fact, NOACA has recently approved $3 million for the planning, design, and construction of electric vehicle charging stations in public places across the region. Together, we will work to develop the infrastructure needed for all modes of transportation. And why? To give our residents choice and, of course, cleaner air. We are grateful to our regional partners who've worked with us so hard to bring projects like this one here today to fruition. And this is no small feat. And since Chuck brought in a sports analogy, I will do the same. When you say this is no small feat, it is no small feat like Purdue beating the second-ranked Iowa on Saturday. My son plays football for Purdue, so that was no small feat. I'd like to thank the NOACA board who supported this project and through their bold leadership are making significant impacts to the region and its transportation system. I'd like to recognize the NOACA board members from Lake County, including Lake County commissioners, especially the executive committee member, Commissioner John Hamercheck. And of course, Ben Capel. There you are, Ben. And of course, we have many other elected officials here today, but recognizing Dan Troy as a former NOACA board member, and Jerry Serino as well, who worked for many years to make important projects like this come to life. Residents of Lake County, I'm sure, are very thankful and will reap the rewards for many years to come by bringing these important projects to them. So finally, I'd like to recognize our federal elected officials, Senator Brown and Dave Joyce. I was trying to give him a promotion, but Dave Joyce. We here at the Metropolitan Planning Organization work well with our state officials, but also our federal officials. Much of the funding that we work with comes from the federal government, the gas tax. Now, the gas tax, of course, will be second nature or second thought, I should say, once we continue with electric vehicles. But right now, the gas tax is what funds these projects, and we'd like to continue to thank our elected officials for the work they do in bringing us the funds to Northeast Ohio, and specifically when you're looking at infrastructure. I look forward to continuing our great work with Laketran and all of our Lake County partners as NOACA looks to achieve its mission. So thank you for all of you to be here today, and thank you for allowing me to say a few words.
Thank you very much, Grace. I would now like to invite Carolyn Watkins with the EPA up to say a few remarks.
You always got to watch the cords. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today to see funds from two of our grants being put to such good use. In Ohio, EPA awarded Laketran just over $1.5 million from our Diesel Mitigation Trust Fund to replace 6 old diesel transit buses with 6 new all-electric buses. We estimate this project will reduce emissions here in Lake County by more than 1.5 tons a year. And that's specifically pollutants like fine soot particles, carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides that contribute to smog and harm human health. These benefits will continue every year that those buses keep running. Funding for the grant came from the settlement of a lawsuit against Volkswagen for selling more than 16,000 diesel vehicles in Ohio that were equipped with illegal defeat devices. These devices turned off the emission control equipment when the vehicles were operating. Ohio's portion of the $14 billion settlement was $75 million. So far, we've used these funds to replace 328 old diesel school buses, 65 transit buses, including 6 here at Laketran, 287 heavy trucks, pieces of airport ground support equipment at airports in Northeast Ohio, 18 pieces of cargo handling equipment, and 5 locomotives. We also replaced 8 old tugboats operating on Lake Erie that had gone in the water in the 1890s. And they've been replaced with 4 diesel-electric hybrids that are much more efficient and cleaner. Earlier this year, we announced $3.5 million in grants for level 2 charging stations, including some at 8 different locations in Lake County, including these lovely stations over here. And later this year, we're going to be putting out $7.5 million for DC fast charging stations along our major highways. We think these projects have been a very good way to use these dollars, and we're delighted to have had the funds available to help Laketran update your fleet of buses, install EV charging stations, and in the process, help improve air quality for everyone in Lake County. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have many officials and organizations that would like to present proclamation to recognize today's dedication of the Wickliffe Transit Center. I would invite anyone interested in presenting a proclamation to please come forward at this time.
Thank you very much, Brian. Ben, welcome all who've come here today. I'm so proud of this because it actually exists here in the 14th District. And I'm honored to be with my friend Sherrod, Senator Sherrod Brown, because I can tell you one thing, you might see some chaos in Washington, D.C., but when it comes to matters like this, Team Buckeye, Democrats and Republicans work together to make sure that we can do what's necessary to keep this area as being the greatest location in the nation. To those at Laketran and all the other elected officials who participated in making this happen today, God bless you guys. Look forward to working together with you so we continue to bring great things to Northeastern Ohio. Have a great day, and with that, Ben,
Thank you very much.
you can probably display that in there too.
We will.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Senator Kenny Wickliffe, my friend and partner here, Senator Jerry Serino. We were here at Lakeland Community College a few months ago, and if you recall, it rained that morning, so to the point where they passed out umbrellas as we came up here to speak. But it luckily turned out to be bright sunshine that day, as we have today. So I had to say something. Besides doing everything right, I think God's even with us here in Lake County as we promote this wonderful work we do. You know, as I pulled into the parking lot today, I noticed all these cars, and I realized that most of us here probably got here today by taking our own private automobiles. But what it doesn't reflect is the number of people, the students, the seniors, people with disabilities, people from low-income areas that rely on public transportation to get to and from everywhere they need to go, and how important that is. And that's why Laketran and the work that they do is of the utmost importance, and I, for one, appreciate everything that they do. And Senator Serino, I'm going to turn this over to you before we turn this over to present this commendation.
Thank you, Senator. I'd just like to, again, offer our congratulations to Ben and Brian and the entire Laketran board, and also our state agencies who are here that have cooperated, along with our federal representatives, in helping to make sure that Laketran grows with the community, not only in size and scope, but in capability. It is a critical part of our economy here in Lake County, and Senator Yuko and I are proud to present this presentation from the Ohio State Senate.
Seniority. Well, you know, I'm going to let you win this one.
I'm a freshman, but I'm the dean of my caucus.
Well, on behalf of the Ohio House of Representatives, it has been an honor and a pleasure to work with Laketran, to work with our federal officials, our other state officials. Right now, Dan Troy and I are holding the offices here in Lake County. I want to make sure we recognize John Rogers, who was a big part of the funding for this as well. Was term limited last year. But on behalf of the Ohio House, we appreciate not just your future, but your past. I'm always reminded when I come by here that when I was in law school, we only had one car for our family, and Laketran was how I got to law school every day, down to Cleveland State. So I appreciate you being here. You've been part of my ability to do what I do, and with today's developments, will be part of the future for a long time to come.
Thank you, Jamie. You know, Ben mentioned a long history of this particular property here. This has been in use, tied in with transit for about 50 years. I can actually remember getting, I can't remember if it was Route 39 or Route 43, the old CTS, Cleveland Transit System bus that used to turn around here. And then long after Laketran started, I mean, this used to be a great spot to park for the stadium specials, where Laketran would have folks being bussed down to see our Cleveland Indians. I don't know if I can still say Indians, but anyway, and I also remember when Dick Celeste was here, and we actually had a switch box here on this property to turn the first set of lights that went on Route 2 here from the county line out to Route 306 and all that. But I'm proud to have had a long history in interacting with Laketran. As a county commissioner, I probably appointed or reappointed 60 members to the Board of Trustees, so 3 a year for 20 years. And probably the finest appointment I made, I remember early in my term, I went to a young lady named Donna McNamee and said, Donna, I think you need to be on the Laketran Board of Trustees. And I was proud to appoint Donna McNamee to the Laketran Board of Trustees, and she still remains there and really is an advocate for what transit is able to do for folks who have disabilities. And thank you, Donna, for your service for so many years. Also, we're just proud of the fact that Laketran not only provides transportation services for a lot of our frontline workers who really need this to get back and forth to their jobs. They're a vital part of our economy, especially during this recent pandemic. And the fact that not only are they doing that, but they are doing it with a real a real dedication to improving air quality in our state and our country by the alternative energy sources that they are now using for their transportation systems. So thank you, Laketran, for all you've done for the citizens of Lake County, and thank you for what you're doing for our environment. Our children, our grandchildren are really going to appreciate the efforts that you've made so far. And with this, Jamie and I would like to present to Ben another commendation to put on the wall here from the Ohio House of Representatives, and congratulations again on this wonderful event.
Thank you. I'm John Hamercheck. I'm the president of your board of Lake County Commissioners, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce Corey Vojak, our Executive Director of Workforce Development in Lake County, to begin our presentation.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, I'd like to present a certificate of recognition celebrating the grand opening of the Wickliffe Transit Center here at 29551 Lake Boulevard, or in Wickliffe.
Oh, gotta teach these youngins how to use the mic.
And with, whereas the Laketran ridership recovery among top in the nation, recently ranked 32nd place by the Federal Transit Administration, is a timely and welcome infrastructure addition for local routes 2 and 3 and the Park-n-Ride Route 12 operate on the state-of-the-art transit center, featuring an indoor waiting area, accessible real-time information, public restrooms, with charging infrastructure for their battery-operated local route bus fleet. Laketran has also started a new partnership with the Wickliffe High School, offering student transit benefits, allowing them to ride on routes 1 through 9 for free in order to improve access to after-school jobs, college courses at Lakeland, and extracurricular activities. Now, therefore, the Board of Commissioners in and of Lake County are pleased to join the Laketran in the ribbon cutting and the grand opening of the Wickliffe Transit Center. The Board extends congratulations on bringing fruition to this important addition, showcasing commitment and cooperation amongst community partners. With that,
Hold on, Corey. Hang on now. Now we got to get all little shout-outs here. Your Board of Commissioners, as well as the elected officials assembled here, recognize the greatest asset Lake County has is our people, the citizens of Lake County. The reason we, as a board, have Corey coming out and making these presentations: workforce development, essential. The partnership with Laketran and all the efforts that Laketran has made throughout the years and into the future is essential. Our partners at NOACA, essential. At a recent board meeting, if I may say, Ben and I, with Grace's guidance and support, negotiated language that will keep Laketran at the forefront of all of the efforts for maintaining Laketran at the tip of the spear of the best of the best. There's many good things to come, and that's why it's so important that we encourage these young people, such as Corey, such as Ben, to continue to be our leaders and to do all these great things. And with that, now, Corey, you can give them. Thank you.
Thank you to all our elected officials. Before we dedicate the new transit center, we would now like to retire the flags. If everyone could please stand. Now I would like to invite Willoughby Western Lake County Chamber CEO Karen Tursick to help us with the ceremonial ribbon cutting. I'd also like to invite my fellow trustees, our UAW members, Senator Brown, Mayor Barbish, and all of our other elected officials who are here.